Are you from his village? Do you know his father? Do you know his father? If his father had changed from G to D, we are not going to manufacture new name. It is the name that came from the president's correspondence. Yes, Deputy Senate President.
Yeah, to be frank, it's a mistake. I think the liaison officer should be informed that that correction should be made from the side of executive. But actually, it's Argungu. It's Argungu. It's a mistake.
Well, my personal opinion is if it is what came with the letter, then we pass it so. And if it is a mistake, at the point of swearing in, the president can correct it. Since it's just a name, it's a name. It's a name. It's not everybody that rises to the position of the Deputy Inspector General of Police. So if it is DIG Hashim Argundu, we'll know. But if it is Argungu, what did we pass? Oh, that's the one that we corrected earlier.
Mr. President, with all due respect, things like this can come up with errors from Mr. President or wherever. It is part of our job to look at these things and make the corrections. There's nothing like Ardundu. It's Argungu. And we should correct it as such.
He's the chairman of police of the Senate Committee.
That is his name. I know him. His name is Argungu. Hashim. Simple now.
Who is there anybody that is a member of the Senate Committee on Police Affairs?
I think I agree with what Senator Alain Dume said. Now, obviously, it's a mistake. If we decide to correct it, pass it down to Mr. President, once he has sent to him, once he give his answer, then the correction is made. So, but obviously, not obviously, clearly, it's a mistake. Clearly, it's a mistake. His name is Argungu.
I know him.
I want to say this. This is a correspondence from the president, and we have read it on the floor as contained in the document sent to you by the president. You have committed it to the committee to go and look into it. This individual will appear before the committee, and the name and everything will be well spelled. And at the consideration level, we will not do the correct thing. But for now, this correspondence from the president. I don't think that's it. They should allow the committee to now.
Okay, distinguished colleagues, we leave it as it is. When the man appears before the committee on Senate Committee on Police Affairs, he will go and correct his name there. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Page 8. Distinguished Senator Odende.
Thank you, Mr. President, my dear colleagues. My name is Emmanuel Memga Udende. I represent the very good people of Benue, Northeast. I stand to move that the votes and proceedings of Senate Committee on Police Affairs be adjourned. Thank you.
Okay, distinguished colleagues, we leave it as it is. When the man appears before the committee on Senate Committee on Police Affairs, he will go and correct his name there.
Page 4. Thursday, 27 June 2024 be adopted. So moved.
Distinguished Senator Ekong Samson.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Ekong Samson. I represent Akwa Ibom South. I want to second the motion as moved. Thank you.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that the votes and proceedings of earlier Thursday, 27th day of June 2024 be approved. Those in support of the motion that move and seconded say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Yes, point of order, Senator Jimmy Kuta.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleague, my name is David Yesu Jumkuta, representing the good people of Taraba South, the headquarters of Korofa Kingdom. I come under Order 52, personal explanation. By the indulgence of the Senate,
Order,
under 42, sir.
is it 52 or 42?
42, personal explanation, sir.
Yeah, go on. Read.
By the indulgence of the Senate and the leave of the President of the Senate, a senator may make a personal explanation, although there be no question before the Senate, but no privately matter may be brought forward. No debate rise upon the explanation. The term of the proposed statement shall be submitted in detail to the President of the Senate when his leave to make it sought. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues,
Yeah, distinguished colleagues, Senator Jimmy Kuta had actually approached me that he has a personal explanation he would like to make to the Hallowed Chambers, and I felt it was urgent enough. Is it the view of the Senate that he be allowed to proceed? Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Senator Jimmy Kuta, you may proceed.
thank you, Mr. President. I wish to notify the Senate of the recent passing of Element Second Republic Senator representing the old Ukari senatorial zone, Senator Ilia Audu, at the glorious age of 86. Note that Senator Ilia Audu was born on January 1st, 1938 in Lupwe, near Takum, to the family of Siman Audu and Rufkatu Stephanos. Note his excessive contribution to Nigeria began with his education at SUN Primary School in Lupe in 1945, continued through Gintri Boys Secondary School from 1949 to 1960. He then proceeded to the United Kingdom to study journalism at the prestigious College of Journalism in Fleet Street, London. He subsequently returned to Nigeria and served in various locations, including the Ministry of Information in Kaduna State, Ministry of Information, Benue Plateau State, where he pioneered the establishment of the Nigerian Standard newspaper in Jos in 1972. He is also instrumental in the development of Old Gongola State information infrastructure in 1976. Aware, in 1978, Senator Ilia Audu was elected senator representing the Old Ukari Senatorial District of Gongola State. As senator, he served as chairman of the Senate Standing Committee on Agriculture and Water Resources and secretary of the MPN Senate Caucus. He moved several motions for infrastructural development, including the construction of Gembu Road, the National Supply Company in Ukari, the Natal Exchange Office in Ukari, and influenced the award of construction of Ukari prisons. In 1991, he was heavily involved in the creation of Taraba State. From 2006, he was appointed
and INEC resident electoral commissioner reg serving in Nasarawa, Plateau, Benue, and Bauchi. His legacy as a senator continue committed to public servant, journalist, staff member of Rotary Club Ukari, and former Secretary General of the Gendry Old Boys Association, GOSA. He is survived by his wife, Hanatu, 5 children, and many grandchildren. Senate is resolved according to observe a minute silence to honor the late Senator Elia Audu and urge the government to monetize Senator Elia Audu by naming a significant public infrastructure or institution after him in recognition of his contribution to the nation, and send a delegation from the Senate to condole with the family of the late Senator Elia Audu. I so submit, Mr. President. Thank you.
The, distinguished colleagues, distinguished Senator Jimmy Guta came under Order 42, which does not allow debate. He has informed us, notifying the Senate of the demise of the Senator Elia Audu at the glorious age of 86. He has made a lot of requests in line with his personal explanation. So I want to urge the Senate that in honor of this late colleague, Senator Elia Audu, we should observe 1 minute silence in his honor. May the soul of the distinguished Senator Elia Audu, who represented the Old Wukari Senatorial Zone of Taraba State, rest in perfect peace. Senator Lamileko, point of order.
Thank you, Mr. President, very distinguished colleague. I also come under Order 42, that is the personal explanation. Mr. President, not to bore us with the idea of reading through what's contained in Order 42, I would like to go straight to the issue at hand. Mr. President, this morning we propose an amendment to the Appropriation Act of 2023 and Supplementary Appropriation Act of 2023. And these two items was discussed extensively, and eventually the Senate gave its nod for the extension of these two acts to terminate on 31st December 2024. As far as appropriation is concerned, that was what was discussed. But sitting down out there just now, I found an headline on the social media that is tagged The Guardian, presidential jets, Senate holds emergency session to consider the supplementary budget. And just to read the first line, the Senate held an emergency session to consider President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's supplementary appropriation for 2024 fiscal year, which include funding of acquisition of a new presidential jet. And I want to strongly believe, if it is true that it is coming from one of our notable newspaper, The Guardian, it's rather unfortunate. Because at no point do we discuss any appropriation bill in the Senate today. What we did was to amend the existing act to terminate on 31st December 2024. And what we did at the closed session was adequately reported by the President of the Senate. So I want to use this medium to tell Nigerians and also to inform the Senate that we never, at no point do we discuss any appropriation bill in the Senate today. Only amendment to the existing act of 2023 and the supplementary act of 2023.
Do you have any request before the Senate?
Mr. President, I don't have any request, but just to make it clear.
But I have.
And the information.
I have, if you don't have.
Okay.
The newspaper reporter.
The Guardian that is here.
That newspaper is accredited to the Senate, right?
Yes.
And so you should be able to request for consequential.
Mr. President, I want to say.
For misrepresentation and falsehood.
Yes.
This is what is going on.
Mr. President.
I told you earlier that what you are seeing is anticipatory blackmail. And this chamber would never be blackmailed.
Yes.
So you didn't discuss that. That did not come before us. But they went there to go and write that the Senate had just finished discussing how to buy a plane. I don't know what is happening.
Mr. President, in that same vein and in that light, I will hereby request that the Guardian correspondent attached to the Senate should be invited by the committee to ask questions as to how he come by this story that he has reported, so that adequate sanction can be meted on such newspapers, so that it will serve as a deterrent to other newspaper household or any journalist that is here that is doing misrepresentation of fact about the activities of the Senate. I so submit, Mr. President.
Any seconder? Yes, the same Senator Issa Jibril.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I am Issa Jibril, representing Kogi East. Mr. President, I rise to second wholeheartedly this motion ably moved by Senator Lamineko. It is so disheartening that we can be reported in such a negative way. Okay? This issue was never discussed. How did they conjure that story in order to sell it to the public domain? I want to believe that the correspondent should be invited, okay, to meet the Senate Committee on Information, Ethics and Privileges, okay, not legal. And at the end of the day, whatever they resolve should be made available to the Senate for implementation. I so second.
So, distinguished colleagues, the Senator Adara Modu, Chairman of Committee on Information, right? Chairman of Committee on Media. You've heard the motion moved by distinguished Senator Olamileko and seconded by distinguished Senator Issa Jibril. that this Senate should order the correspondence of the Guardian who reported falsehood and misquoted the proceedings of this Senate to appear before your committee to explain why disciplinary action should not be taken against him for this falsehood. Those in support that Guardian reporter be invited for questioning say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So you report back to the Senate in 1 week. Yes, Senator Ojus Okalum.
Mr. President, thank you for the time you are giving me and my colleagues. I want to just bring to attention of the Senate the havoc caused by rain in Ugweke, in Bende local government of Abia State, and also in Ibere, in Bende local government of Abia State, and in Kporo and so forth. There are many villages. The river banks, the Wi River and the Eze River overflow. They went off their way and damaged a lot of roads, bridges, and they took people alive. People died. So I want Mr. President to give me permission on the next legislative day to bring a formal motion to this issue. I've informed Mr. President of this intention. So if Mr. President and my colleagues permit, I would like to bring a formal motion and relief to these communities, Ugweke, Ezuku in Bende local government, Ibere in Bende local government, Mkporo in Ohafia local government, and part of Abreba in Ohafia local government, and Umu in Bende local government, and Bende town itself in Bende local government. So if the Senate wishes, I'll come on the next legislative day to bring a formal motion on this, Mr. President. Thank you.
Distinguished colleagues, you are aware of the tragedy and the disaster that had befallen the three communities mentioned. Is it the view of the Senate that the dismissed Senator Ojus Okalo be allowed under our Order 41 sub 2 to bring this matter on the next legislative date? Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So you proceed to bring it formally before the Senate on our next adjourned date. Yes, Senator Siri.
Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. I come under Order 41 and 51. With the permission of the Senate President, I just want to take Order 41, matter of public importance. The matter for discussion shall, if possible, be referred to the President of the Senate before commencement of the day's sitting, and the President of the Senate shall refuse to allow the claims unless he is satisfied that the matter is definite and urgent. 51. Notice shall not be dispensed with in the case of a motion or in respect of any other proceeding for which notice is required, except with the consent of the President of the Senate and the general assent of the Senate. 41 and 51. I like your smile, Mr. President.
No, because I like you a lot.
Yeah. It's just a
The Order 41 is very clear that you ought to give me a bit of summary of the upcoming motion. Yeah, if you can approach.
I can approach.
Approach the chair.
Okay, sir.
Distinguished colleagues, the subject matter of the motion by our distinguished Senator Cyril Fasuji is the same thing as the one earlier raised by distinguished Senator Oju Sokalo, but different communities. It's all about the havocs of rain. So I believe we can deal with the havocs of rain on the next legislative day in the same vein. So is it the view of the Senate that he be allowed to come with a full-blown motion on the next date of sitting? Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So in line with distinguished Senator Oju Sokalo, please proceed to bring it. It's a joint motion, more or less. It's all about rain. So they will come together. So different, the same rain, but different communities causing havoc. So we should list them out. DSP, lead out the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Just a minute, Senator Yaro, do you have something to say?
President, it has been overtaken by events. Thank you.
DSP, please approach.
Thank you, Mr. President and distinguished colleagues. Having concluded the proceedings on today's order paper, I rise to move, Mr. President, that the Senate do stand adjourned till Tuesday, the 2nd of July, 2024. Mr. President, I so move.
Yes, Minority Leader.
President, distinguished colleagues, I rise to second the motion moved by Senate Leader that the House do adjourn till Tuesday, 2nd of July, 2024. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that this August chamber do adjourn to Tuesday, the 2nd day of July, 2024. Those in support of the adjournment say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Accordingly, this Senate is hereby adjourned to the 2nd day of July, 2024. Leader, did you put the time of the adjournment?